Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, MBC Lifestyles Diary. My name is Marie, I live in New York, and I love fashion, travel, and cultural events, and I'm asking you to join me on the adventure.
We are leaving Palermo after spending 2 nights here and heading to Cefalù. And the guys were complaining, why are we leaving Palermo so soon? There was so much to see and do. But I planned the itinerary, and for me, Cefalù sounded like heaven. So here we are in front of Selina, our favorite restaurant, and our B&B Del Vittori, which is listed as a luxury bed and breakfast. So we're heading out. We arranged for cabs or drivers with the various hotels to get us from one point to the other. And I thought I was going to sleep on this ride, but that was ridiculous because the scenery was so breathtaking. Cefalù is an hour away from Palermo, and the name of the city, I thought was Arabic, but when I looked it up, it said it was Sicilian. And I guess Sicilian dialect is that of the Normans and the Arabs. It's also listed on the UNESCO World Heritage Site for that intersection of the Norman and the Arab culture. So we're looking at the water, we're looking at valleys, we're looking at mountains. This was simply breathtaking. And as you pull into Cefalù, you come down a hill as you're heading towards the ocean. And for me, that's why I chose to spend 4 days in Cefalù, because I just wanted to be by the beach. This is an aerial photograph of Cefalù, and it's showing Rocca de Cefalù. Here is our hotel, which was like 200 meters from the beach and had a wonderful, soothing view. I enjoyed this. It felt more like a Airbnb or a motel that's been converted into really nice rooms and amenities. When we arrived in Cefalù, it was like the perfect day. The sun was shining, the ocean was calm, the water was blue, and the beach was littered with tourists enjoying all this nature. And there was a part of me that was like, rip your clothes off, put on your bathing suit, and run to that beach. Run to that beach and enjoy the water. But I calmed myself down. I was just like, no, we're here for 4 days. I'll have time to enjoy it. And I really didn't think that I had really the strength to do all that. Mentally, I wanted to, but physically, I knew it was better to just relax and take in the town. The area in which we stayed at was the beachfront, and it was sort of horseshoe shaped. So you had the public beach, and then you had a Lido, which is a private beach where you could get umbrellas and a beach chair and towels for $15, and you could get food brought to you. So we had our choice. This is the old town, or the center of town, where there are shops and more restaurants. And also in this area, they had a medieval wash area. And what that was a place where the women of the town used to go do their laundry because there was a clean running river underneath. Here's the Lido. That was also full that day. It was just beautiful. I felt like, yes, perfection. I've made the right choice. This is where I'm going to be every day on the beach. It was a hilly town, so I knew that I was just going to stay where it was flat. The guys could go off and explore, but it was truly picturesque. And Cefalù, because of its beauty, has been in a lot of movies. Most recently, different scenes were filmed for the 2nd season of White Lotus. They've filmed Cinema Paradiso here. Some Indiana Jones was filmed here. So you get the idea, you get the magic of the place. And of course, there was a beautiful promenade with plenty of restaurants. And honestly, it felt like it was a bit of a party town. Because on Friday night, the DJ set up outside to start the dancing. I ended up staying in my hotel room and sitting on my balcony and looking at the activity on the beach. And the guys decided to walk up to go see the Cathedral of Cefalù. So the beach where we were at, the public beach, was called Spiaggi de Cefalù. And of course, the plaza in front of the church was called the Piazza del Duomo. So there were a lot of interesting things to see, but you had to be more physically fit than I was. There was a lot of walking because the streets were too narrow for cabs, but it was worth the adventure. So here is the Piazza del Duomo, and here is the Cathedral of Cefalù. And in that cathedral, there's a beautiful mosaic painting of the head of Christ. That's what it's known for, along with the structure of the cathedral. So there is a lot to see. There is a lot of history, but I left that to the men to discover because I just was being soothed by that blue ocean. The thing about Sicily is that a lot of Italians visit Sicily. So I was hearing Italian the whole time, and hearing it, I felt like, yes, I spoke it. Prego, allora. But that was really nice. You felt really in a different place, and it was very rare to find people that spoke English, and I enjoyed that also. I mean, they've caught up to the tourism, so there are waiters, like there's one waiter per restaurant that they'll speak English, but they speak it enough to get your order. Manuel and Alex happened to crash a wedding, but I don't know if you saw that beautiful mosaic painting with the gold leaf behind it. But there was a wedding going on, so that was pleasant. Seeing the wedding just added to the magic of being in Cefalù, seeing the church being utilized. There was another picture of the mosaic Christ head, and also focusing in on the two towers that makes the Church of Cefalù distinct. This is the lobby of our hotel, but there was like really a maximum of 8 rooms. So once again, it was very intimate. And that evening, we were walking towards the promenade and towards our restaurant. And look at that sky. So incredibly beautiful. And a lot of activity. So the restaurants are known for their seafood. There's also a lot of pizza being served. And I asked a waitress, I was like, what's going on with this pizza? And she looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? That's what we're known for. And I was like, I thought Napoli was known for it. And she just shrugged her shoulders like, oh, all the misinformation that you tourists have. But it doesn't matter. I got educated. And the food, of course, was delicious. So basically, I got really tired of hearing the guys go, oh my God, this is so good. It's like, that was at practically every meal. So this is where my torture starts because they ordered oysters. I love them too. Just watch this. You're killing me. I love oysters. Wow. Those oysters looked so delicious, and that's my weakness. I love oysters and champagne, but I couldn't have raw seafood, not just yet. This is the view from our breakfast area, and I would spend like an hour there just looking out. It was so soothing, and the food was very good. The name of this hotel was Salome, and it was perfectly located. Like, I'm looking at the beach, and finally I'm getting to go out to the beach. It was a short walk. You pulled up and spread your blanket. The hotel provided towels, and I was ready to enjoy. But unfortunately, there was a storm in Hungary that was affecting our waters here. And I was looking at the people swimming, and I just saw riptides. I was like, these people are brave. I also didn't see lifeguards. So I just went and got my feet wet. And I was just like, they love the water that much. They must really be strong swimmers. Because the wind and the waves, they were pretty strong. And they were eating up the beach. And people just kept picking up their blankets and moving closer to the wall. As I was watching this, I realized that the lifeguards were fully dressed, and when they wanted you to get out of the water, they just blew their whistle, but they weren't going to go in and save you. They were fully dressed. Very different than what I've seen in Jones Beach. Of course, on this beach, there were the vendors selling you hats, blankets, offering massages, and also something cold to drink. It was very pleasant. I did enjoy just looking at the ocean, and I did end up buying a blanket. After enjoying our stay at the beach, it was lunchtime, so we just walked up the stairs onto the promenade and went and sat at one of the outdoor cafes. I love this type of living. That's why I chose to stay here 4 days. It's easy. The living is easy. And the food was good, and you're people watching. And the beach is just so soothing. A lot of vibrancy here. As you can see, the water is pretty rough, and the lifeguards have cleared it and told everybody to get out. I think by the next day they had to close the beach. But once the lifeguards would turn around, these crazy Italians, these crazy tourists would jump back in. I was like, oh my God. I was like, you guys are stressing me out. The next day, the guys went off to explore. They were going up to El Rocco de Cefalù. They had the energy, and you know what I did? I once again sat on my balcony and took in the view. But they walked around, they went to the top of the hill, they saw more eateries, more life, just so much going on. But do you see those stairs? Your girl wasn't about to try to tackle that. But I was quite content. I was quite content in my hotel room and looking at that blue water. So people go away to Europe and they eat what they want, and they're amazed because sometimes they go home and they've actually lost weight. But when you're in Sicily, you can clearly see why this happens. You're eating seafood, you're eating pizza, you're having gelato. But those hills, you're climbing stairs, you're moving around. You're just not sitting around after dinner. You're not going from the restaurant into your car. And you're motivated to take these walks because the scenery is so breathtaking. It's unlike anything you're used to back home. I will say this about Sicily, though. It did remind me of my island, Haiti, just because it was so mountainous. And it also reminded me of Puerto Rico. So that's the vibe. But you're also looking at, ancient architecture. On top of this hill, you're not really on top. Then there's a staircase that you have to pay an entry to get truly to the top of the hill. And from that point, it's another hour. So I don't think beachgoers really go up there too frequently, because if you're coming to have a stay at the beach, I think you're looking to chill out, not to go hiking. But it was beautiful, and you always caught a glimpse of that beautiful turquoise sea. So the guys were staking out Cefalù. They were looking to see where they thought I would be able to walk to and be able to keep up with, and scoping out what restaurants maybe we should go eat at later. And they were also kind enough to look at shops and see what I possibly would like to go back to. I'm smiling because my husband's taking pictures of windows with jewelry because he knows I love that. But I thought it was very considerate of them. And as you can see, it's a bustling town. I don't know how that car got in there because it's loaded with pedestrians. They're very narrow streets. And that's what made Cefalù lovely also, was all this activity. It's really, it is a big town. There is a lot more to see, but I just stayed in this little area. And there was something for everyone. I did enjoy pictures of the shops, and I did end up being taken directly to places the guys thought I would like. And they're pretty good guys. Looking at the stairs in the forefront, if you go up those stairs, you're at another plaza at a different level, and you have a different view of the ocean. So as I said, this storm in Hungary was creating quite a stir for us in Cefalù, but it was still beautiful to behold. For lots of people, the beautiful beach of Cefalù is one of the best beaches in Sicily. The town's main beach, Spiaggia di Cefalù, stretches 1.6 kilometers along the coast and offers a magnificent view of the old town and the impressive Rocca di Cefalù. The Lungomar promenade is right behind the beach. Cefalù, with a population of just under 14,000, is one of the major tourist attractions in the region. Despite its size, every year it attracts millions of tourists from all parts of Sicily and also from all over Italy and Europe. It is one of the Borghi più bella d'Italia, the most beautiful villages of Italy. As stated before, Sicily had many people come and conquer and claim it as theirs, so the history is consistent. In 1063, the Normans captured it. In 1131, Roger II, King of Sicily, transferred it from its almost inaccessible position to one at the foot of the rock where there was a small but excellent harbor. There he ordered construction of the present Norman-style cathedral. In addition to Arabs, the area was still inhabited by its original Greek speakers, today called Byzantine Greeks. Between the 13th century and 1451, the city was controlled by different feudal families, and then it became a possession of the Roman Bishop of Cefalù. Cefalù became part of the Kingdom of Italy in 1861. We were spending the weekend in Cefalù, and by this point, the storm from Hungary brought the rains to Cefalù, so it kind of dampened that happy weekend vibe. But things continued. The DJ played its music. We were going to be celebrating Alex's birthday in this town, so Alex got to pick where we went for lunch and where we went for dinner. The rain did not stick around. It was on and off, and that reminded me of Florida. So it rained in the morning, and by the afternoon it was clear, so you could go out and continue with your sightseeing. Also note that the rain made it also considerably cooler. So one day it's 90 degrees and you're in the water, and the next day you have to walk out with a jacket and there's a cool breeze. There's the sign saying that the beach is closed. You crazy swimmers, stay out, because the lifeguards were not going to risk their life for you. When I first arrived in Cefalù, it was so incredibly beautiful that I was talking to the manager of the hotel we were staying at and said, I'm ready to put down roots in Cefalù. And he's like, it's not beautiful like this all the time. It does get cold and rainy. And I was like, okay, never mind. And getting a taste of it, I was like, yeah, time to move on. Besides the scenic walks in Cefalù, here are some of the main sites. There's the cathedral, which was begun in 1131 in the style of the Norman architecture, and that's the one with the mosaic Byzantine head of Christ. Then there is also another church called Church of Saint Stefano. And then as we head back into the old town, you'll go to the medieval place where the women used to wash, and I think it's called the medieval wash area. So that shows you the structure where they used to kneel and beat the clothes and rinse it in that running river. And then there's Cefalù, the rock, which you've been looking at various points, and that's the area where they charge you to go to the top. So after the guys roamed the town, they came back to get me for dinner. And here I am walking towards the beach and turning into our favorite restaurant and ordering our favorite seafood. The food was delicious. We always enjoyed ourselves, and the guys kept torturing me by ordering oysters. But the desserts were delicious. Everything was delicious and tasted really fresh. The following day was Alex's day, so he got to plan the itinerary, and we were off and running. So the first thing we did was go to his restaurant of choice for his birthday luncheon, and he did a spectacular job. This place was fire. The view was incredible. We were right on top of the beach. We saw a whole other mountain range that we had been missing. And of course, the food was incredible. Like I said, you're going to get tired of hearing me say this. Everything was so delicious and new to the palate. Look at this food. After lunch, we went and started walking into the old town. I sat on the promenade for a little bit and people watched and took in the view. We were going into the old town because Alex was going to buy me a gift on his birthday. I like how I did that. But it was really a beautiful day. And here we are walking through the old town. And we're getting to a spot, which was this spot right here, is the scene where a Cinema Paradiso was filmed. And it was an enchanting spot. And then I went and sat and overlooked the Lido part of the beach. And that's the private beach where they provide you with the umbrella and the lounge chair. And you can get food. And you can just see that people were just loving it, just being there, even if you weren't going into the water. It was just so beautiful. I don't think that this footage that I'm showing you really captures what it feels like to be there and how mellow you get and how the beauty just relaxes you. But that's what we were experiencing. And no, I still didn't need to be in the water fighting for my life. That's how I felt, but obviously other people didn't feel that way, and they seemed to getting pure enjoyment in this water. The weather had improved, and this is the dress that Alex bought me for his birthday. Now we're dressed for dinner. And look at that Look at that sky. Look at that ocean. By this point, we've been traveling for a while. We've been to Barcelona. We've been on a cruise. We've been to different ports of Italy, and now we landed in Palermo, and we're enjoying the seaside town of Cefalù. So we kind of think this is our life. And Alex had picked this spot for his birthday. It was a quaint spot in the old town, and as usual, the food was good. We were enjoying ourselves, and the ambiance was great. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Now, Steve, you want to wait? This was the end of our night. The boys had gone on a quest for gelato, but their favorite gelato place was shut. So we just enjoyed the promenade and started wrapping our heads around the fact that we would be leaving Cefalù and on our way to Messina. If you enjoyed this trip to Cefalù, please give me a thumbs up. And remember to like, subscribe, and share.